There's a place, a school, an institution where a professor resides. One that for the past 30 years has traveled the world teaching others. A pioneer in America of the fighting science of Savate. One who codified the sports of this fighting style. One who has produced clubs, champions, and continues to develop. Listen to words of Professeur Buitron. Come train at the best kept secret of Laredo. Buitron Academy, 956-401-4868. Savat.biz.
Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing well. Thank God I am, and my family is as well. I had a question earlier today while I was training somebody, because this is a pre-recorded show for tomorrow's Monday. And that question was, how come everybody in Savate seems to be so calm? And I asked him, why do you say that? And he said, and my student said, because I see all the fights and everybody seems to be calm. You know, when we do ASSO, which is similar to sparring, you know, because sparring is the preparation for the ring. When we do ASSO, he goes, those that have longer time in Savate seem to be very, very calm. Let me answer you something that was told to me by several professors. Okay. Many, and I'm going to mention them. Michel Gilbert, Count Baruzzi, Sylvain Salvani, Claude Valide, who was the technical director, Richard Silla, which not only was a trainer, national trainer, was also my brother, a Professor Paturel, Papillon, you know, Dominic Daclouis as well, professor. They're all professors, you know, right? Sot Massage. And they all mentioned it in a different way, but meaning the same thing. In Savate, a Savateur was, in the past, was used for many reasons, many vocations. A lot of the vocations of a Savateur, the Savateur was actually a bodyguard or protection or security, police officer, soldiers, officers. And what Savate and Boxe Française built was a fighter that was very, very calm. Actually, most martial arts are that way, right? When you're dealing with reality in combativeness in reality, you can't have your emotions on your shoulder and on your fists and your legs. You have to have your emotions deep inside you with a clear head and controlling those emotions. You know, Professor Richard Silla, his nickname is Sang-Froid, which is cold-blooded. And if you see him fight, he's very, very calm. You don't see no emotions in his face. You know, if you see Professor Francois Pinocchio, very, very calm as well. He's not agitated, he's just moving, getting things done. Why is that? Because of the way we train. Okay? We do not spar, because spar, like I said, I'm going to deviate two words, ASSO and sparring. ASSO is a bout without power, and it's used to train reflexes, to train accuracy, to train calmness and emotional status. Now, sparring, you wear the helmet, you wear the shin pads, you can wear other protection, and you're training for a bout. Either you're training somebody for a bout, or you're training yourself for a bout, and you're going to use those protections because the hitting's going to be a little bit different. The hitting's going to be harder. And so you have to control that power, the strike of the strikes, right? Asshole on the other side builds so much else. Builds coordination, agility, speed. So does sparring, right? But it more likely, what happens is the way a Savateur is trained. You're trained with enchantments and ripostes on a one-to-one, two-on-one basis, in which you're hitting the person, you're striking back and forth, and you're touching. You're always touching each other. Let me put it to you in the sense of speed. In Savate, you have 4 speeds. And those 4 speeds are fast, no power, fast with power, slow, no power, and slow with power. And you have to be able to shift among those speeds at will. Okay. Now, with that calmness, it takes time. It takes time to produce, from blue to green, red, white. You start seeing the distance of where you're at. Okay. You're actually building a fighter from the inside out. And in other sports, you're building the fighter from the outside in. Okay, let's toughen him up, and then inside, if he stays long enough, well, then he's going to get the mental spirit. No, we don't have time for that. So remember, when you're dealing with violence, altercations, being in a violent situation, being around violence, you yourself have to be calm and collective. Okay, and I tell that to all my students. You have to be calm and collective. You have to be able to move slowly, fast, but use your head. You see, and a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people get very agitated. That's why a lot of silver gloves, a lot of Savateurs, a lot of very seasoned Savateurs are bodyguards in France. They were always been from all levels of society and in all levels of businesses. There were police, there were soldiers, and there were what? Officers. And that's what it was. I went through that. I was an executive protection specialist. My younger days, that's what we did. I also worked security at bars. I'm going to tell you something about a lot of people. And people say, I want to be a tough guy. I'm going to become a bouncer. I'm going to be a tough guy. I'm going to become a bodyguard. But if you have no control on your mind, no control on your emotion, then you're going to be a hindrance to that. A bodyguard is supposed to keep the client safe. A bouncer is supposed to keep the bar safe. Okay, you don't want no fights inside. See, I see a lot of people going in there very trigger happy, very killer instinct in the sense that, oh, the person's going to look at me. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to punch him in the face and take him outside. I'm going to drag him. That's not a bodyguard. Guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to get fired. If you're working for a place, an establishment, a nightclub, are you going to be beating up everybody, all the fights? You don't want fights. I know guys that are very, very short and can take out a crowd. I know guys that are 6'4" and they couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. But why do you pick the big guy? Because of intimidation factor. There's a lot of people out there. They're very weak-minded, so they're going to look at some big brute and say, "Oh, okay." So you want them to, not only by intimidation of their size, their imposed intimidation, to be calm and tell the person to leave. Get the guy and you leave. Why? Because if you get the fighter, he's going to fight one guy, the next guy, the next one after that. Probably there's going to be a big old little barroom brawl. And guess what happens with that? The place will be closed. Now imagine being a bodyguard, executive protection specialist, or now they know as a contractor, you're trigger happy. Get everybody killed, even your partners, yourself, your client. You don't want that. So that type of control of emotions when being within a fight, it comes because you're well seasoned in training in Savant, and that is the truth. That's what happens. So that's how I answered that question. Folks, fights aren't pretty. The world is a cruel world. Intimidation happens. People are going to try to intimidate you. They're going to try to bully you around. They're going to claim that somebody hit me, hit you, hit somebody else for you to get into a fight, for you to get in trouble. Only because you train in Savate or you train in any martial art, that doesn't mean you have a license to go out there and beat up anybody. That's not what this is for. This is for your protection or the protection of somebody else or the community. That's what the martial art is. Why do I train now? Because of the love of my community. Before I wanted to be the toughest. Before I wanted to be world champion. Before I wanted to be the best in the ring. All things changed. Once I lost my hand, in the sense, look at that. My finger still didn't close. 11 surgeries. I don't know if you can see the scar. See that? Yeah, scar. See the scars that I have in my hand? That's what kept me from competing for a world title. Okay. But that doesn't mean I do not teach people how to defend themselves, and I don't instill the traditions and what makes his art great to others. That's what it's about. So I tell people this again. Yes, I'm going to teach you how to fight, but amongst that comes discipline and respect. But that was a great question that was asked today. And that question was, how come everybody seems so calm? Because that is the way we train, to be calm under pressure, under a fight. For you not to lose your head when they're trying to take your head off. Okay? With that said, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. You get hear that little bell, click the bell, and you'll know the notices. We have a lot of content out there, content for the community, content for everybody. If you like this, put a comment up there. If you want to train in Savant, give us a call. You want to drop me an email, ask questions, please do so. Here's my email. It's buitronacademy2012@gmail.com. If you guys want to do some online courses, we have that program too at Buy Me a Coffee at Buitron Academy. So look us up, okay? And you follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find us anywhere. You can find us quickly. We're going to be having some seminars coming up, some very good ones. On June 4th, 5th, and 6th, we're going to be having our 32nd Passage de Grade. And that's going to be with several professors and colleagues of mine. We might bring in a third professor, surprise guest, but it's going to be Professor Andre Germain and Professor Jean-Louis Lassen. And of course, myself will be teaching that class. Come on over. Get situated, I'll be posting hotels and so on and so forth. So you can follow, like I said, follow us, and we'll be posting a little bit more about it. But it's going to be our 32nd annual Passage de Grade. Imagine 32 years doing the exam always in June of Savant. You're going to learn a lot. You'll learn a great deal. Our books are out. Our Roots in the No Star, which is the book about Zacatripa and how I learned it and how we pass it on, is out. If you want to drop us a line, again, if you want to order the book, it's not much, it's not going to break your bank. So, but there's going to be a lot of information that's going to be valuable for you towards training. We have also the book of the Sentinels of the Professors of Savant and the Noble Art of French Pugilism. And we have those books available as well. You want to order a book, say which one, and drop us an email at buitronacademy2012@gmail.com. Once more, I want to thank you all for watching. Click share. And if you have any question, send us an email. Okay. So then, much peace.